Good evening. This is CTV News. I'm Patricia Vallone. Well, a blaze rips through an apartment building in Hyattsville early this morning. The fire happened here at the 3500 block of Toledo Terrace around 2 a.m. When firefighters arrived, they found flames racing through the three-story complex. The county's Office of Emergency Management is helping the 11 adults and 4 children who have been displaced. 2 firefighters were hospitalized for injuries but have since been released. No word yet on the cause of the fire. We have an update tonight on that fatal shooting outside of a gentleman's club in Hyattsville last month. Police have released surveillance video of the incident, which left 1 person dead and 2 others injured on March 28th. The video shows three men arriving in a red Hyundai Sedan, firing shots toward Area Code Gentlemen's Club on Chillum Road. The 3 victims were rushed to a nearby hospital, but 28-year-old Alex Lynch was pronounced dead soon after arrival. Lynch was on duty as a security guard at the time. The car in the video has since been recovered, but the motive of the shooting is still under investigation. There is a $25,000 reward for anyone with information leading to an arrest and indictment in this case. Bowie State University and Maryland State Police are investigating a shooting that happened on campus over the weekend. The incident happened in a parking lot behind the James Proctor building early Saturday morning. A university spokesperson says there were no injuries and no arrests have been made.
I didn't hear about it until the morning after, until the university sent out a bees alert about it. So that's when I found out about it.
And your reaction?
It's honestly kind of concerning to after we have a huge party and there are gunshots afterwards.
Meantime, university officials this afternoon scheduled a meeting with students to discuss the incident. And you are watching CTV News. I'm Patricia Vallone. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hey, it's me again. I promise we're totally fine. We're just so busy right now. I know it's a lot to ask, but think you could take the girls for a bit? Oh, they just love staying with you guys. No, we don't need any help like that. It won't always be like this.
Everyone should have access to running water. The Low-Income Household Water Assistance Program can help you pay your water and wastewater bills. Visit waterhelp.info today.
Welcome back. Well, the Maryland General Assembly adjourned a week ago today, and while there were a lot of legislative winners, there were also some important measures that failed. A bill that would have toughened penalties and points for drag racing or exhibition driving stalled in the Senate this year. Street racing has become a major problem across the state, including in Ocean City, where this video was taken in 2017. In addition to heftier fines, lawmakers want to authorize the towing and impoundment of vehicles, as well as possible imprisonment for those involved.
We've got terrible trouble with drag racing, really around the area. And we had a very dangerous situation in College Park about a week ago. And again, this sort of came up during COVID when there weren't many cars on the road and people who like to drive and drive fast were doing it and kind of got into sort of performance driving and drag racing and so forth. And it's become a real problem. And we tried last year and this year to toughen up the laws to stop it, because it's dangerous for the people who are involved, it's dangerous for everyone else, and it's a lot of racket and noise.
Both years, the bill to ban street and exhibition driving passed one chamber, but not the other. And another bill that did not pass this year would have given extra health benefits for low-income residents. The measure would have required the state to ask for a federal waiver for diapers and menstrual products for 2 supplemental nutrition assistance programs. If granted, it would have allowed recipients of SNAP and WIC to use their benefits to pay for both items.
A big problem in this state and in this country, where a large percentage of low-income individuals, generally around 60 to 80% of people who are low income, struggle to afford diapers, and they struggle to afford menstrual products. And diapers and menstrual products, these are not luxury products. These are necessary health products. And we in Maryland have made a lot of progress in the last few years. We've expanded especially menstrual products into homeless shelters, into jails, and into schools, including high schools. in middle schools. We've also, just last session, we cut the sales tax. We eliminated the sales tax for diapers.
The measure passed the Senate unanimously, but died in a House committee. Well, the sounds of gospel, jazz, classical, and pop come together tomorrow on stage at Bowie State University. Professor Brandon Felder presents his faculty music recital. The venue is the Fine and Performing Arts Recital Hall. The performance, which is in celebration of the university's Founders Day, will feature students along with Felder.
The first segment is called Bach to Bach, so we're going directly from Johann Sebastian Bach, and then we've kind of jazzed him up and kind of segue right into Tupac, and then going to Beethoven, going to Coolio, and Gangster's Paradise. I know, shout out to, if you don't know it, Google it. Going from that to Dr. Dre, and as well going to Chopin, into some Lauryn Hill, into some Roberta Flack. Then you're gonna hear some music from show tunes as well. From Ragtime, as well as the motion picture Harriet. You're going to also hear selections from Idioms of Faith. We have that aspect called Ain't That Good News. And then there's going to be a segment entitled Black Composers Matter.
And there are two performances. Both are free at noon and 6:30 at the Fine and Performing Arts Center. For more information, you can email Brandon Felder directly at the address on your screen. The community is asked to weigh in on the search for the new leader of the Prince George's Public School District. Current school superintendent Dr. Monica Goldson will be retiring at the end of this academic year. An in-person forum is set up for next Wednesday, April 26th at Charles Flowers High School at 6 p.m. Anyone looking to speak at the event is asked to register by next Tuesday, April 25th. Still ahead here on the news, Simon Buggs and your Monday Sports Page report. Stay tuned.
Hey everyone, and coming up soon, a recap of the UMD men's lacrosse, DC Defenders, and Orioles games that took place this past weekend. Stay right there.
You can't buy a best friend. You can love them, pet them, care for them, whether they want you to or not. You can take a picture. You can jump, yell, you can fly to the moon, travel the world, or just stay in bed. You can't buy a best friend like that, but you can adopt one. 'Cause we're connected.
I'm Byron Scott. It's a spring day, and now we have another segment of Grow With Us with Kevin Alsop of Anemus Gardens. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
We're talking about tomatoes. Get us started. These were planted back in February.
These were planted exactly February 23rd of this year.
And so what do you
started February 23rd of this year?
And so they've grown pretty much. Where have you kept them?
We kept them indoors. We actually, one of the high schools that we work with, we have a growth station in there, and we started them indoors, so they're under lights indoors.
So it's springtime, but you're saying that it's too early to put these in the ground just right now.
Definitely too.
What would happen?
They would die. They would die. It's too cold. Usually the ground is too cold. The air temperature is too cold. It's not timing.
How do you know when it's time to put them into the ground?
Well, usually you want your air temperature to be in the 70s, consistently in the 70s. Soil temperature around 60 to 65 degrees, consistently.
And so when you take them from here, these are called, what, seedlings?
Yes, seedlings.
They go from here, and then you're able to plant them, not today because it's not warm enough at this point.
Not today.
And you will put them in the soil. Show us how you do that.
Okay, so you have a tray of seedlings, as you can see here. They're pretty tall. They're ready to, if it was warmer, we could take them and put them in the ground after we hardened them off, which is another thing. But so you pre-moisten, use some potting mix. This is just regular potting mix. I'm using one of these red Solo cups that have air hole in the bottom. And what I do is I put a certain level of soil in the bottom. Then I add a looser layer. That first soil I pack down so it can have a sponge type effect. And then I put a looser layer up top. Take the seedling, which I removed from the seed tray. You see the roots? nice pretty white roots. They're very gentle, so don't handle them too much. And I poke and I place the seedling as far as I want to down into the cup.
So you go from seedling to cup, then to the ground. What does the cup stage, that stage do?
Well, the cup stage helps the root ball grow even larger and helps, you know, the plants mature even more. And then we go through what we call a hardening period. So even before you place it outside in the ground, you want to sit it outside to acclimate it to the outside temperatures. It's called hardening off. And you do that for about a week before you actually put it in the ground for a couple hours a day. Let it get some sunlight, some air, little rain is cool, and then it's ready to go into the ground.
So how long before we could plant these? I know in this area of the country, how long before these should go into the ground?
We're going to plant these after Mother's Day,
Okay.
which is May 16th, when we believe the temperature's warm. But you got to make sure that air temperature is right and the soil temperature is right. If you have a high tunnel or hoop house or something that's warm to keep it inside that you're growing in, which most home growers don't do, then you can put it in there now.
So the key is watering the plants and keeping them in sunlight for at least 8 hours a day.
Once you put them in the ground, they have to get 8+ hours of sunlight, because tomatoes, like peppers and other warm season crops, they need sun.
Okay, if anyone has any questions, any emails, who do they contact?
Contact Nema's Gardens, info@nemasgardens.com.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Go with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hey there, sports fans, it's time for your Monday Sports Page. We'll start with some lacrosse. The UMD men's lacrosse squad took the field yesterday, beating the number 9 ranked Rutgers 11-8. The Terps hit the ground running in the first period, scoring 4 times. The Terps will have an 8-4 lead after the first 2 periods, and the Knights were unable to get back in the game. This was the Terps' 4th win in their last 5 games. They are now 8-3 and will face off next against Johns Hopkins on Saturday. Switching to the XFL, the DC Defenders tallied their 8th win of the year yesterday. They took down the Arlington Renegades in overtime 28-26. With this win, the Defenders secured a home playoff game.
You know, offense, defense, special teams did a good job today. Excited how everybody, you know, stayed in the game and, you know, finished strong at the end. And our defense came up clutch a couple times. You know, we made, you know, little errors, but, you know, that's what this team is for. Is someone makes an error, the other guy picks them up. And we just want to shout out the fans. Thank you all for showing out. It was an incredible show out today. 18,000, I think, or plus. Yeah, so thank you, fans. We need you all for playoffs in 2 weeks, so excited to see y'all.
The XFL playoffs begin on April 29th. And finally, the Orioles closed out their series against the Chicago White Sox yesterday with a win 8-4. The Orioles played solid defense, only allowing the White Sox to score in the first inning. By the 6th inning, the Orioles were tied a game 4-4 and scored another 4 runs in the final innings to take the game. The Birds' next game will be versus the Nationals tomorrow at 7:05. And that is your Monday Sports Page. Simon Buggs, CTV Sports.
Thanks, Simon, for that report. And now let's get a quick check on our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight, breezy with a low around 49 degrees. Tomorrow, breezing conditions with a high of 69. Wednesday, sunny with a high of 70 degrees. Sunny and warm Thursday with temperatures rising to 84 degrees. And that is CTV News. For now, I'm Patricia Vallone. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.